split up the fights. If he gets a chrono in the middle or catch 2 or 3, even just catching one, get a quick pick, start pushing, get an objective. So good bans coming through here from Kinguin. Batrider being picked up here, and then Hellraisers just instantly pick up a Lifestealer. Keep in mind, Lifestealer, even though you can rage up, you can still be lasted up by the Batrider. You will still take quite a bit of damage. Venom Monster, I think the ultimate still goes through to a certain extent. So an interesting pick. However, the Clockwork hookshot into Lifestealer and Fest Bomb is going to be something that Hellraiser need to look for, or what they want to do. Mousesports, even though they had a good draft in game number 2, they could not execute it. The big thing here was Kinguin just put so much pressure on Mouse in their previous game that they didn't get any chance to group up, to fight, to challenge Kinguin. But to the likes of a Lifestealer, sure, after your omelet, you can actually start fighting. As soon as you have that infest, you can go for a quick pick-off with a Clock. If Clock gets a 6, Lifestealer has a 6. Venom Monster is a quick pick with a hookshot into an infest bomb, into a rage, swipe, dead, battery assault, etc. And that is excluding the Lich armor that will most likely be thrown on the Clock when the Clock also goes in. So Hellraisers looking to counter and put the pressure back on, Kinguin quite early on, and Kinguin decide to pick up the Spirit Breaker. They know, listen, they need vision. They don't have the Nyx, they don't have the Night Stalker anymore, so they've gone with a Batrider that does give flying vision, of course, as well as a Spirit Breaker for the global presence. They are lacking a little bit in physical damage here, going for a lot of magical with a Batrider, the Venom Monster, the Ancient Apparition. So we might see Nisha going more for a physical kind of DPS. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Viper pickup here for Nisha in the mid lane. But Hellraisers pick up the Enigma. Once again, a good teamfight counter. They have the Lich, they have the Clockwork, they have the Enigma, the Lifestealer Bomb. A good all-round draft coming in here for Hellraisers. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Riddits, or Riddits Dota, at Riddits Dota on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining in, guys. Big shout out to Beyond the Summer, of course, for letting me cast the past couple of weeks. The NA scene, the South American scene, and now jumping into Phil for the EU scene. It's been a great pleasure and an honor to cast for you guys. As always, drop me a direct message on Twitch, on Twitter, with any criticism, constructive criticism. Hey, and if you guys want to flame, go ahead. I'll flame right back. Of course, after game number 1. It's always good. It's always good to have some banter. Twitch chat. Hellraisers take my energy. No, Hellraisers take my wife. That's a good one. That's a good one. I haven't seen that. Last bans coming out here from Kinguin. It is going to be the Ember Spirit. Ember, of course, can also come in with a Lifestealer, Infest Bomb if you do have a Remnant down. Can combo up well with Enigma, with Clockwork, with Lich, getting Searing Chains off, as well as going for an early Veil, going for that Mage kind of build, doing quite a bit of damage with the Flame Guard as well. I do see it. However, I do think Hellraisers might go for something a little bit more puck related, to set up the Lifestealer, the Enigma, to try and combo with the rest. They have quite a bit of damage. Puck can right click quite a lot. And let's see, is this going to be a Puck or a Storm? Well, okay, Storm Spirit being picked up now, so that is the Lifestealer Infest. That is his vehicle. Of course, he does have the Clockwork to jump in as well. But the thing is, if Kinguin isn't, well, if they aren't careful, Storm Spirit's going to be zipping around the map. As soon as that first 6 hits on the Lifestealer, you'll see Storm Spirit moving towards him, or the Lifestealer moving towards the Storm Spirit, jumping inside, getting those quick picks off, specifically on the likes of Ancient Apparition, and the Venom Monster. So this time it's going to be Nisha on the Venom Monster. Previously, we did see, who was it? I think it was Patos on the Venom Monster in the previous 2 games. So this time it's going to be a mid-Veno, Exotic Deer on the Wraith King. Patos playing the Batrider. Elisash on the Ancient Apparition, and last but not least, Kakor on the Spirit Breaker. That's, of course, for the side of Team Kinguin. Hellraisers. Kaiser on the Storm, Cade on Enigma, Milan on the Clockwork, J4 on the Lich, and last but not least, 33 on the Lifestealer. This is going to be good. Really looking forward to these games, guys, and let's get the game started. Come on. It's a big thing with the, with the new drafting phase, with the planning phase. It just delays the entire entry into the game when we just want to get into it. We just want the game to actually start. But let's give it a second and just talk about the combos coming through here. Of course, Enigma with the Lich, can do a lot of magical damage. Clockwork setting it up for the Lich as well as the Enigma. If Clockwork goes in, gets a good hook shot off with two heroes in the cogs, Enigma can always blink in towards the backline, catch the other three, split up the fight, while the Lifestealer and the Storm pick off two heroes and then counter engage. It's going to be quite interesting to see the side of Hellraisers. They've got a lot of different variations in regards with how they can fight. Versus Mousesports sort of went all in regards with a full 5v5 kind of matchup, where Kinguin did not give them that opportunity. Kinguin have quite a lot of pick-off potential. They don't have that much push potential though. Versus Mousesports, they had a lot of push. They had push, they could take towers, but keep in mind they also went with a different kind of Veno build. This time Veno is being played on mid, so we might see the Veno scaling a bit better, being that very aggressive core in the Veno that just constantly is pushing down towers, that gets tanky extremely fast. I mean, we saw Nisha just completely skyrocket up with a Viper mid. Let's see if he can do the same with the Veno. Clockwork busy taunting as he's wrapping around, roaming around, running around right now. And this is going to be Patos on this solo safe lane up versus a Clock. It's going to be quite interesting to see how these two match up. One mistake from either of them can actually cost them this lane. So having those two there with, I think this is the second time that we're actually seeing Kinguin running an aggro lane. And yeah, there you go. Enigma taking a little bit of harassment here from the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker not skilling anything just yet. But dual lanes up here for mid. J4 as well as Kaizo. Here's the charge coming through. They do back off a little bit. If Kaizo pushes up too far, this might be very problematic for them. There's the chilling touch as well. This might be the first blood coming through here on the Storm Spirit. Who's going to get it? One last hit needed, and it is going to be for the Spirit Breaker. We'll give him early boots. We do see a wraparound from Clockwork. Clockwork unfortunately not actually catching out the Spirit Breaker, and Spirit Breaker will just charge away. Pretty even, pretty safe for him. So good first blood coming in for Kinguin. And this time, I did not miss the first blood. Let me quickly see if I can boost my in-game audio a little bit for you guys. There you go. Audio should be a little bit better. Especially the in-game audio. Let me know how it sounds now, guys, on stream. It should sound quite a bit better. You should be able to hear a bit more coming through from the game. You know, though, Exotic Deer currently sitting on 4-2, so doing quite well in this bottom lane up against a solo Enigma. Enigma has to be careful not to feed too many of the Eidolons over through to the Wraith King. And here we go. We do get a charge as well as a Fire Blast coming through here from the Wraith King, who's going to get the next kill. It is going to be the Ancient Apparition. So that's 2 kills on the board for Kinguin, putting quite a lot of pressure down. Meanwhile, top lane, Patos might be in a bit of trouble himself. And we do see a wraparound here from the Clockwork. Clockwork still sitting on level 1. He's trying to catch out the Batrider. Batrider might be in a bit of trouble right now. Is there boots up on the clock? Yes, there is. Is this going to be a battery assault? He did not actually preemptively cast it just to run into range. So currently 0 and 2 through to Kinguin. Nisha doing quite well here in the middle lane, getting a Poison Gale onto the Lich right now. Lich might be in a lot of trouble. Is there going to be any kind of bash shenanigans coming through? No, just going to be a single kill. However, Clockwork is running in. He does have Battery Assaults. Not actually going to work. Not going to do anything. There's Venomous Gale just slowing down. I mean, every time that Storm Spirit leaves the lane, and if that Gale actually catches onto the Lich, Lich is going to drop. So I do hear a charge, and that is going to be onto the Enigma. Enigma not going to scout this out yet. Are they actually going to die for this? Yes, they are. All the way onto the tier 1 tower. TP's coming in here from the lifestealer. Are they going to commit for this exotic deer? He is coming in. Is he going to be able to get the Wraithfire Blast down? He does, but there might be a counter kill here for 33. Ancient Apparition might be in a lot of trouble. He is still busy juking it out right now. He actually might make it. Nope. That's going to be 2 heroes down. So it's a 1-for-2 exchange. Favoring the side of Hellraisers. Good rotation, good wraparounds coming through there. And very well played to the Lifestealer for keeping in the time as well as getting a kill himself. Currently mid lane, 22 and 6 up here for Kaiser versus Nisha's 12 and 4. So Nisha struggling a little bit. Not going for any levels up in Plague Ward, going for a full-on right-click build. Getting 2 levels up in his Poison Sting. So quite interesting to see, not going for the Plague Ward, you know, kind of build that we're so used to seeing. And back down to the bottom lane right now. Between these two, Lifestealer sitting on 20 and 8 versus Wraith King's 11 and 4. However, Wraith King doesn't even have any of those kills. He, of course, does have 2 assists. But this Lifestealer doing very well. And even though Hellraisers might be behind in regards with kills, it does seem that... Oh, wait. No. Spirit Breaker might drop from this. And that's going to be an easy kill here for Milan. Currently 3 and 4. Still behind in kills. But Hellraisers building up that gold lead where they were behind a little bit with actually nearly 1,000, around 750. Now taking it all the way up to around 500, 750 back in their own favor. So 1,000 gold swing over the past minutes or so, just from a couple key kills that started off here on the bottom lane, getting 1 kill over here and 1 there. So let's have a look here. Sexy Bamboo here, Kid on the Enigma. How's it going up versus Batrider? Batrider currently sitting on level 4 versus level 4 up on the Enigma. Both of them are fine. Just, I mean, the greed coming through here from Hellraisers to have a Clockwork as a pos 4, have an Enigma, have a Lifestealer, have a Storm. It's just an extremely greedy lineup. But if they can pull it off, and if they can get an early lead with this kind of lineup, running into each other, if they can get an early lead with this kind of lineup, it's gonna, you know, just start snowballing out of control. Storm Spirit does not have level 6 up just yet, and this might just be a kill for them. Good chain stunning coming through here. The Wraithfire Blast from Exotic Deer as well as the charge up on Spirit Breaker. So good pick off there, delaying that level 6 up on the Storm Spirit by quite a bit. Venomonster already having his 6. Does now all of a sudden have 3 levels up in his Plague Ward. So he kept a lot of levels. Just had 1 level in Venomous Gale, 2 up in Poison Sting, and then just dropped 3 straight into Plague Ward. And as you can see now, the push starts happening. And this is just... this starts becoming very dangerous, especially when there's a charge coming through here onto the Lich right now. Lich only sitting on level 4. The Chilling Touch is there as well as the Venomous Gale. Lich might actually drop from this. 1 more right click needed here from Nisha. But here comes the counter engage from HR. They do manage to get a good cogs off onto Nisha. Nisha is actually going to be the first one to drop their Spirit Breaker. He's in some trouble himself as well because his TP gets cancelled out by the Battery Assault. So a 2-for-1 trade-off. That included the Venom Monster dropping there. Very good rotations coming through from the side of Hellraisers, and that was the first Lifestealer bomb that we saw. No hook shot into that, it was just a pure Lifestealer infest, getting that kill. And Lifestealer managing to get a deny on that middle lane as well. Ancient Apparition wanting to go onto the Storm Spirit, however Storm Spirit is only sitting, well, is on, well, Wait. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. He does have his level 6, so he can just zip out of this. Each other person has to be very careful because Storm might just go across here and get scouted. 7 minutes into the game currently, top 2 net worth in favor of Hellraisers. 3,170 up for the Storm, 3,100 up for the Lifestealer, and quite a bit behind that, considering it's 7 minutes in, is Nisha here on the Veno. Veno trying to farm up the Ancients, trying to do what he can to, get back into this game, to catch up in regards with net worth. And AA has to be careful here, does scout out the Clockwork. I mean, they need a level 6 up on this AA and fast. So AA is probably going to be moving, but trying to soak up as much experience on this bottom lane, standing around the trees as possible, as well as just getting a couple of bounty runes. That's a haste run up on Storm as well. They do scout out the Wraith King. Wraith King does not have level 6 up just yet versus Enigma that does. There's the Zip It coming in from Kaiser right now, pulls him in, and the overload is just too much damage. Getting the kill for Heroes top here for the side of HR. They are going to try and push up for the tier 2 tower top. Ancient Apparition, he is gone upon now. Storm Spirit might actually freeze himself up. No, the charge is there as well. The Ancient Apparition gets pushed back. Good movements coming in from the Clockwork. Actually pushing them all back. And a Black Hole coming through. Catching it onto 2 heroes. That's actually onto 3 heroes. They managed to get 2 down already. They're trying to go for a kill here onto Paytos. Paytos does have 6 up, but he does not have a lasso. So it's not really going to help out at all. The Wraithfire Blast coming through here onto the Lich. Lich might be in a bit of trouble himself. Nope. Here comes the backup. The Cogs is good. Good placement there. Pushes the heroes back, and everything should just back off from this. No! Exotic Deer manages to get at least 1 hero with the Wraithfire Blast, and getting a 1 for 2 trade-off there. I think that was a 1 for 2, maybe a 1 for 3. Let's have a quick look at the fight recap. Still favoring the side of Hellraisers. Getting a good Black Hole, splitting the heroes up, making sure that the Black Hole covered any hero that was actually TPing in, catching. I think the Bat Rider might have been caught on the side. I wasn't looking there. I know definitely 2 heroes were caught here. And meanwhile, the Lifestealer was just in the bottom lane. He was busy farming up, so currently Hellraisers putting a lot of the pressure in onto Kinguin. So Hellraiser, they're just pausing quickly. Who was that? Clockwork pausing. He's saying he has a bit of lag. And Clockwork still sitting on level 4. So this is roughly around that 10-minute mark, which you spoke about earlier in regards with, is normally around the 10 or the 16-minute mark where one team so far has got the advantage and try to keep the advantage. Whoever gets the advantage around this time period normally just starts pushing forward if they don't make mistakes. However, I do like seeing a back and forth kind of scenario. But if Hellraisers can get such a good early lead, considering they've got such a greedy lineup, it's going to be very difficult for Kinguin to actually get back into this. Considering, sure, the Veno's actually doing a lot better right now, sitting second in regard to the net worth, basically tied up with the Storm Spirit. But the big problem is the Wraith King currently, he's sitting on 2,500 versus his counterpart sitting on 4,400. And that alone is the difference in regards with net worth between these two teams. Just sitting over 2,000 net worth in Hellraiser's favor, and the experience, that's the big one, 3k, which means they do have the level advantage. They will be able to get their 10s up, their talent up on their cores before Kinguin can. And if that's the case, as soon as they get that up, they're going to start grouping together. We might just see as soon as the next Infest is up, the Lifestealer moving in towards Kaiser here on the Storm Spirit, jumping in him. There's an seriously, regen rune on the Storm. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's see where the next fight's going to be coming from here. Is it going to be top? The good thing for Kinguin is they do have a Veno, and Venos can defend quite well up against most kind of push lineups. Dropping those Plague Walls down constantly should actually give them some kind of buffer here. And we actually do see Enigma just backing off after seeing the Venos there, after all the Woods being dropped. This should, well, you know, they should defend their top tier 1 tower at least for the time being. Bottom lane, Ancient Apparition struggling to get a 6 up. I mean, this 6 is going to be very big for them, because if they can get the 6 up and they can start taking team fights with the AA ult coming through, the Venom ult coming through, the Flame Guard, not the Flame Guard, the Firefly, as well as the sticky napalms up on the Batrider, everyone's going to be so slow on the side of Hellraisers, and they're going to burn to death, whether it's from the Batrider, whether it's from the Venom Poison, whether it's from the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast coming through. But here's a smoke wrap around. The 6 is up here for the Clockwork. He does scout out Ancient Apparition. He should. There's the hook shot coming in. The Ancient Apparition does have an ulti coming through. However, they're trying to move in forward, and Lifestealer just completely dominates him. I'm not even going to try and hypecast that. Batrider, he wants to move in forward. Kagura actually getting a couple of good stuns here up onto Milan, and that's another bash. So a 1-for-1 trade of Ancient Apparition for Clockwork. I think they'll actually feel very happy about that. So Kinguin, they'll just fall back, and that will also give Batrider his Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger lasso timing up 12 minutes in for the Batrider. Not the best timing, but it is a decent timing considering this is exactly when they want to start fighting. The Ancient Apparition just got his ultimate. So because of that, Batrider with Bat ulti, with a Blink Dagger in, we might just see them trying to push in for more kills, and that's it. Batrider flying through right now, blinking in forward, getting a good ultimate coming through, and yeah, even if Enigma tries to black hole, it's not going to do anything. Enigma just gets killed instantly. So the players from Kinguin trying to come back into this game, trying to get pickoffs where they can. Roughly around a 800 gold swing there for the side of Kinguin, but still sitting around 4,000 behind in regards with net worth, experience, also around the 4k mark. So let's have a look. There's a engagement here. Clockwork once again here onto the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition, he's not long for the world, but the charge is here onto the Clockwork right now. The Wraithfire Blast is there as well. He is going to change, well, basically give his life yet again for the Ancient Apparition. I do not think that that is worth it, in my opinion. It's a pause 4 for a pause 5, and there's a charge coming through on the Enigma. They wanted to go through, but Batrider, of course, not having lasso, not the best idea in the world. Maybe they're going to try and cut off and just trap off the Lich right now. Lich, he does have a TP, and let's see, can they engage on him? There's the stun coming through. Lich might just decide to TP and try and make his way out from this, but nope. 2 right clicks needed from the Wraith King, and he does drop. Meanwhile, Ancient Apparition, the Veno does manage to drop his ultimate, and there you go. Milan might actually drop from this again. But this time, paying with his life, well, you know, getting the kill on the Venom monster at least is better than going in and trading off for an Ancient Apparition the whole time. But still, okay, the net worth here shows 4k versus up here shows 3k. So let's just wait for this to catch up to see where's the net worth currently sitting at, what's the gold currently sitting at. And the top tier 1 tower, was that a deny? Yeah, Enigma at least getting the deny on the top tier 1 tower. So trying to minimize as much gold as possible going in favor of the, well, of the side from Kinguin. And Nisha dropping a little bit again in net worth, 6,600 versus his counterpart 7,080. So still very close. Currently building up towards that 4-star. We'll have it up pretty soon. Continuing the way that he's been farming, he does have a Hand of Midas, so most likely only going to be like a 2-minute delay, then he'll have his 4-star up. Anything else coming in? Nothing just yet. Ancient, oh, well, wait, where is the Ancient Apparition? There it is. Ancient Apparition smoked up as well as the Batrider just towards the backline, trying to bait out here with Nisha. And Spirit Breaker also trying to find vision on anyone other than the heroes mid. But this might just be a free mid, a free bottom tier 1 tower in exchange for a mid. They do have a glyph on both teams. But TP is coming in right now, trying to defend the middle lane. We're going to see more TPs in here. Is Nisha going to move in there? He does not have a TP, and he also does not have his Poison Nova, so this will just be a trade-off. Mid for bottom. Currently, Wraith King still working his way up towards his armlet. He does have... Oh, Nisha died on the bottom lane. Charge coming through here on Storm. Storm doesn't actually have his ball lightning right now, but yeah, there you go. He actually manages to get out just in time. Will they be able to do anything from this? There's the Black Hole straight in onto the Wraith King. The Lich... sorry about that. The Lich ulti flew through, managing to hit onto 2 heroes. However, it's still only a 2-for-1 trade-off. They did manage to pick off the Enigma. Man, I'm getting tongue-tied today, man. What's going on here? So 2-for-1 trade-off, looking at the gold change, not actually a big difference or a big advantage for the side of Hellraisers, more of a experience advantage after that fight. 150 odd gold, 160 gold in favor of Hellraisers, but a 400 gold swing, 400 experience swing for them. And considering the experience was already in their favor by a significant margin, that's why they can take a lot of these fights, and they have the experience, they have the advantage regarding that. I mean, sure, 5,000 gold or 4,000 gold at 17 minutes is a good lead, but it's that experience advantage giving, you know, the heroes, if you have a look at the levels, just having that Enigma sitting on that level 11 versus, where's your offlaner? Let's actually quickly compare them. Well, Pata's actually doing very well for himself, out-leveling the Enigma, but there you go. The 2 cores up here for the side of Hellraisers sitting on level 14 apiece versus level 13 and 12. And there you go, blink in forward, straight in onto Wraith King. Wraith King, the hookshot comes through from the Clockwork. Clockwork actually gets a very good hookshot there, as well as Cogs, but Wraith King wants to move in forward. He does actually manage to get the kill. However, he drops from this. That's his reincarnation used. That's 2 heroes down for the side of Hellraisers. Good Ancient Apparition ultimate flying through, and that's quite a big change there. That's a 1,400 gold swing, as well as a 2,000 experience swing, just from a good initiation this time from the side of Kinguin. Really going in onto the Wraith King is not the best idea, because you know there will be an Ancient Apparition ultimate flying down on your head if you hook in with the Clockwork, getting your cogs down. You sort of block yourself. And now they want to go in for more. Lich might be in quite a bit of trouble. Does have a TP, but it's not going to be worth using. He's just going to drop from this. Doesn't have his chain block. Well, he actually did, but not quite sure if the chain frost would have actually done anything there. So yet another kill going towards Kinguin, and bringing the game back by a significant margin, you know, making this once again an even matchup. Venomonster having that full Hood of Defiance up, as well as his 4-staff, so I was a little bit off in regards to my timing, but yeah. Having the Hood of Defiance up right now, up against the side of Hellraisers, is quite big, blocking off quite a bit of the Lich Chain Frost coming through, a lot of the damage from the Storm Spirit, as well as the Enigma with the Black Hole, as well as his Midnight Pulse. So starting to tank up significantly compared to their matchup versus Mouse Sports, where it's more of a support, you know, offlane-ish kind of Veno. It's going to be interesting to see. He's building up for a full... Wait, Ancient Apparition ulti? Okay, only clipping onto 1 hero. Going to be interesting to see if Veno's going to build up for his full Hurricane Pike next, or if he is going to continue down the path where he is now, trying to get up a little bit of mischance, get that halberd up and running as well. Oh wait, no, that's not going to be a halberd. Excuse me, thought that was going to be a halberd. Just saw the Talisman of Evasion. Batrider still busy farming up right now, and having a look at the net worth graph between the two teams, it's gone down to around 3,000 in favor of Hellraisers. Oh wait, Ancient Apparition ulti flying through, catching in onto 2 heroes right now. Are we going to see any kind of follow-up from this? No, it just seems like they're trying to delay, keeping vision on the Lifestealer with the charge coming through. And is there going to be... Is he going to commit to this? Nope. they back out. I think they might have scouted out the smoke rotation coming through, so let's see if they do back out the shrine. There is no shrine to fight on top of, so they will have to back out completely. And Hellraiser's not going to find anything with the smoke. Full Solar Crest up shortly for the Veno. Let's quickly have a look here. 1,450. Yeah, probably within the next within the next minute, he'll be able to pick that up if he wants to. Ancient Apparition has to be careful here because there is a storm, so he will have vision if he drops a remnant here towards the tree line. Playing a very dangerous game. Yep, just decides to TP out, and they do go in on the Clockwork. The Ancient Apparition ulti hitting him once again, Wraith Fire Blast, and they just leave him. Giving Patches the kill. He needs to get his... he has a Blink Dagger, he has a Force Staff, so he's actually doing extremely well considering the start that he actually had here on the Batrider. And he's actually changed it to go for Yules. I agree with this a lot more. He'll be able to stay around in the fight a bit more. He'll be able to debuff any silencers. He'll of course be able to use this to cancel the likes of Black Hole, etc. So getting the Yule Scepter up is a good pick for, is a good item choice. But the side of Hellraisers, they're just pushing, and they're out pushing the side of Kinguin, and Kinguin don't really want to take the fights. Enigma does have a Blink Dagger up, Ancient Apparition ulti flies through onto two heroes. The charge is there onto the Storm Spirit right now just to keep vision. Are we going to see them committing? There you go, charge hits the Storm Spirit. There's the ultimate coming through as well, but good. The mini stuns coming in onto the Spirit Breaker right now. Enigma does manage to get a Black Hole, but it's only onto one here right now. Enigma does pop afterwards. Here comes the Wraith King. He of course does have his reincarnation up, and there's the stun coming through. That's two heroes for two in exchange. And 33 is here on the Lifestealer. The Clockwork hooks in, gets a good Battery Assault as well as the cogs coming through. Ancient Apparition ultimate flying through once again, hits onto 3. However, it's not going to be enough. Nisha does not have enough mana to pop his ulti, and that's going to be a problem for Nisha. I mean, with the Ancient Apparition ulti onto all 3 heroes, if he had enough mana for his Nova, it might just have been able to turn the fight. But 3 for 2 trade-off in the end, and side of Hellraisers just looking very strong. Sure, Kinguin brought it back. They managed to get a couple of good pickoffs earlier on, but Hellraisers just look a lot more composed. They're going for objectives. They're getting the towers, and it's the side of Kinguin that are struggling a little bit, considering this is the way they played up against Mouse Sports in their previous matchups as well. They should be well versed in regards with how to play this style or how to play up against this kind of, it's just standard objective gaming. Push a tower, get a couple of kills, move in together, utilize what you have, and what they have is the Storm Spirit, the Clockwork, the Lifestealer. Get those hook shots in, get those engagements in, those jumps in, have the Enigma jump in from the backline with Black Hole. And the problem here is Veno does not have the mana a lot of the times in the fights to actually drop the poison over. The Clockwork cogs pushing him back, draining his mana, his limited mana already, makes it very difficult, to say the least. Exotic Deer managing to get a kill there onto Kaiser. Of course, Kaiser is just going to come back straight away. Did have a couple of Bloodstone charges up already. And let's see if we're going to see an engagement coming through. Nisha, he gets hook shotted upon. Once again, the Clockwork hooks, or the cogs are there. There's the Lifestealer engagement as well. And this time the Poison Over did manage actually to come off onto the Lifestealer as well as onto the Lich. They do manage to get one kill in trade-off. Once again, killing up the Storm Spirit. They want to go in for more. Can they do anything about this? There is not enough mana for the reincarnation. Now there is finally, after the magic wand has been used. Will they be able to get the final kill onto the Batrider? Batrider, there you go, drops. That's a 3-for-1 trade-off. Once again, the Lifestealer in first bomb coming through, doing a lot of damage. This time the Poison Nova actually was cast, but considering that was it, it's a core Veno, and they're just targeting the Veno at the start of every fight. Sure, the Nova might actually go off. Oh, charge coming through. No, don't do anything about that. You know, considering the Nova gets off at the beginning of the fight, or you know, he manages to actually cast it. The problem is he can't right click. He can't put down more plague wards. He can't slow further down with his Venomous Gale. That actually does a lot of damage by itself. Outside of Kinguin, they're struggling. They don't have that frontliner, or they do have the frontliner, but Hellraisers, they're just ignoring the frontliner, jumping in towards the backline with the Clockwork as well as the Storm Spirit and the Enigma, and they just target the Wraith King afterwards. Very well played from them. They're playing clinical Dota right now from the side of Hellraisers, and Kinguin struggling a little bit to gain map control back, to actually get the farm back. Looking at the two mids, only around 1,000 difference between the Venom and the Storm, but the big one is Wraith King sitting on 11,000 net worth versus 15. That's a 4k net worth deficit between the Lifestealer and his counterpart up on the Wraith King. Wraith King really needing, yep, he's actually decided he's going for a Radiant, changing up his item build, knowing that, listen, we have to try and combo up with the Venom, with the Ancient Apparition, get that damage over time, and if they don't want to target me, let's just, you know, the longer that I stay alive, the more damage I'm going to do, and I'll be okay with that. Poor little Batrider. Let's quickly go through the item progression here for the side of Hellraisers. Lich currently has his 4-star up, building into his Glimmer Cape. And the Clockwork. I mean, this Clockwork's been actually doing a tremendous job. Sure, sitting third from the bottom in regard to net worth, but playing that pause 4 Clockwork. He does have a full pipe up, and there's an engage once again. Oh, no, wait, no engage. Just a zip forward, as well as the Lifestealer raging up, doing a bit of damage onto the tier 2 tower, trying to, well, not trying to, forcing out that early glyph. And this Lifestealer already having a full Linken's up, as well as his Radiance, giving extra miss percent chance there, as well as the burn from the Lifestealer itself. This Lifestealer is very difficult to kill at this point, and also building into Solar Crest. We'll have that up shortly. Storm Spirit setting only on 10 charges on his Bloodstone right now. I think previously he was up to 16 or so. Dying in quick succession after each other. He does have Orchids up, as well as building into that Linken Sphere afterwards. Enigma currently sitting with a Hand of Midas, Linken Sphere as well. So a lot of Linkens being built here. Lifestealer as well as Enigma, as well as Storm Spirit. And let's jump now into the side of Kinguin. Ancient Apparition, basically bottoming out in regards with the net worth, just playing that position 5. He will not be going in for his Aghanim Scepter anytime soon. You know, he just has to, oh. Yep. He's just there to try and at least get his ulti off, try and combo it up with a Venom, try and do what they can. The Wraith King does have his Radiance up shortly. The problem is he won't have buyback. He of course does have his Reincarnate, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough if the side of Hellraisers decide to push here. Venom Monster does also have also has a Solar Crest up, as well as the pipe. Hand of Midas building in towards that BKB, trying to defend, you know, building a few more defensive items, considering that he's being engaged upon from the get-go. As soon as the storm zips in, he needs to be able to get that BKB off, you know, make sure that even if he is Orchid, even if he is silenced, he can still get off his Poison Nova, his Venomous Gale, and actually try and do a bit more in the fights other than just getting popped instantly. Oh, there's the engage coming through right now. They are jumping in onto the Enigma. The Enigma gets a good black hole onto 3 heroes. The Chain Blast coming through as well. That's 2 heroes down for the side of Kinguin. They might actually get a third. That's the Reincarnate, and he just drops instantly after the Reincarnate as well. I just said Wraith King maybe shouldn't pick up the Radiance, because if Kinguin actually, well, if Hellraisers actually get a couple of pickoffs there, they'll just be able to push up high ground. That was a good engage coming through. Clockwork hooked in, managed to get good cogs off there, catching I think onto 3 heroes. The Enigma, who was the initial target, was outside of the cogs, getting a good black hole onto 3-4 heroes. And they just managed to blow everyone up. Extremely well played from the side of Hellraisers. One buyback already in place here for Venomonster. There's a jump in forward onto the poor little Ancient Apparition. He will actually survive from this, but this is very problematic for Nisha. There's another hook shot coming in right now. Clockwork getting his cogs off, pushing Nisha back. He might actually pay for this with his life, but I think he'll be okay with that. That does, of course, mean the entire lane of Rax has fallen. The charges coming in forward here. Does manage to catch out the Lich. There's another engagement coming through here. The Batrider managed to draw back the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer is just gaining his life back, chomping into the side of Kinguin right now. They pick off the Lich, but will they be able to actually get anything further? Clutch plays coming in from the Storm Spirit, zipping in forward, letting the Lifestealer infest just to get him out of there. Unfortunately, Lifestealer might be in a bit more trouble right now than he might think, and there's no bashes coming through. So 2 heroes, they managed to, get 2 heroes back, but that's a full lane of Rax for the side of Hellraisers. So very well played from them. And to be honest, this Clockwork's just been putting in so much work. His hook shots have been on point, unlike my camera work. His cogs have been on point. Getting his Battery Soul down, catching 2 or 3 heroes down, setting it up for the Enigma to actually get good black holes off the whole time, as well as the Lifestealer and the amount of damage that they can put out because of that, considering they had such a greedy lineup, and they've just been pushing forward. They've been increasing their net worth lead, they've been increasing their experience lead. A little bit drop there, which is to be expected, but well, bit of a problem here for the Lifestealer. There's a hook shot coming in. Milan not catching on to anyone right now, but he does have his power cogs if he wants to use it. He forced himself out, and 33, he's going in right now. He wants to get a kill onto Patos. Kaiser comes in. There's a black hole here onto 2 heroes right now, and that's going to be the Veno down. The Chain Frost is coming through, going onto 2 heroes. That's 3 dead, and this Wraith King, no, he's trying to at least get a kill of his own, and well, let's have a look here. He's actually doing a lot better than I expected. Still managing to survive this. It's a 4-for-4 trade-off currently. How did that actually go so well for the side of Kinguin, even though they did lose their entire team? Ultra kill up here for Kaiser. This time, the Wraith King surviving a lot longer, being able to put out a lot of that damage and, a lot of that Radiance burn, but still a 5v. Oh, my camera work is bad. Let me just position my mouse better. A better fight for Kinguin, considering the previous fight where they, took on Hellraisers. They lost 4 and I think only got 1 in return. This time they managed to actually get 4 heroes down for the side of Hellraisers. But still not very good, considering you've just given Storm 21 Bloodstone charges, which is going to give him insane respawn time, a lot of HP as well as mana regen. Looking at it currently, just under 60 mana regen per second. And yep, Kaiser just pushing in towards a tier 3 tower, trying to just do as much damage as possible. The Spirit Breaker will be back now, and is he gonna go for the charge here onto the Storm Spirit? It's gonna be very dangerous if he does, or if he tries to go in for any kind of solo play right now, considering that will force out a buyback from his team just to try and get that kill. And as you can see, Storm Spirit just regenning like a monster, and then getting up another regen rune. I think this is like the 4th or 5th regen rune that I've seen Storm with this game. Net worth currently 20,500 up for the Storm Spirit versus his counterpart on 14,300. So around a 6,000 difference between the 2 mids, and Veno not having the best day right now. He started off well, he kept up, but then the initiation coming through from Hellraisers, they were just on point the whole time, getting the pickoffs, getting the jump ins, and Well, that's put them to 16k ahead of, Kinguin currently. Lifestealer, just under 20k net worth versus his counterpart, also on 14,000. And as you can see here, around that 10-minute mark, it just started going up in one way, all the way towards Hellraisers, dropping a little bit after a couple of good fights from Kinguin. But it seems like Hellraisers just have Kinguin's number at this point. Let's have a quick look here. It seems like Milan's just quickly restarting. I'm retreating. They're just quickly restarting. And on that note, let me just quickly get a quick sip of water. Okay, there you go. So let's have a look and see what can Kinguin do right now to actually try and get back into this. They are trying to go for a couple of big items here, but it is going to be very difficult for them. I mean, one of the main items that I could see is Venomonster. I mean, if he can get this BKB up, he could try and stop that initial jump in onto him. The problem is, even with BKB, there's still going to be that Enigma with a black hole to actually trap you down, lock you down, even while you're in BKB, and you will die. You will drop very fast from the Lifestealer hitting you. Doesn't matter how tanky you are. You have a Lifestealer, you have a Storm Spirit there as well. You have the Lich ultimate bouncing between everyone. Sure, if you're BKB, it's going to help a bit versus that. The Chain Frost's not going to do as much. But the problem is still going to be coming in is that Enigma. And every time that they've tried to jump on the Enigma, the Clockwork has been there on point, managed to get a hook shot in, drop his cogs, keep everyone trapped inside or push them away from the Enigma, which allowed the Enigma to just counter engage. I think if Kinguin can actually get that jump on the Enigma and burst him before the fight, they might be able to turn the fight completely in their favor. But let's have a look and see what they can do. There's a charge coming through right now. It is only onto the one here. There's a hook shot coming in as well onto the creeps for some reason. And there you go. Blink in forward from the Wraith King trying to go in. They want to move. Who are they going to try and focus first? The Lifestealer might be in a lot of trouble right now. Is there going to be a Black Hole? We'll be on to 3 heroes. No, it's just going to be Kaiser. He comes in, managing to get a double kill there. Oh, no, that's actually Exotic Dancer getting a double kill. Kaiser, though, is unstoppable. The one to turn around, going in onto the Clockwork. This time, Venomonster has not died at the start of the fight. And that has actually allowed him to do quite a bit of damage there. Nisa as well as Exotic Deer doing the work for their team, and that's exactly what they needed. There was no black hole, and playing around this black hole timing, if they manage to get a kill here onto Enigma right now, it might be big, but it's a good win for them, considering it's roughly around a 3,000 net worth change. But the next fight, there's going to be a black hole, and they knew that the black hole was not up just yet. So they could take that fight. Quite interesting that Hellraisers decided to go in for that fight without Black Hole being available. Maybe just, maybe they just should have waited an extra 10-15 seconds, warded up around Rosh, made sure that Enigma's Black Hole's off cooldown when they do fight in, have Enigma stand on the high ground over here or over here so that he can just counter initiate in if the side of Kinguin comes in. But they picked up the gem. Whose gem is that? Was it their own? Seems like it was their own. So gem has been picked up here for the side of Kinguin, just trying to de-ward and getting a little bit map control back. This might actually help them a little bit, but the problem is there's actually no vision up for the side of Hellraisers. Maybe it was de-warded before, I'm not quite sure. But Wraith King all of a sudden sitting on 17,500 net worth, only 2,000 below that of the Lifestealer, so very good going in there. Patos jumping in onto the Clockwork right now. There's the zip in forward as well as the Lifestealer bomb instantly blowing up the Ancient Apparition. However, another one to turn around. They want to go in onto the Batrider. The Black Hole is there onto 2 heroes. The Chain Frost as well. That's 3 heroes down, 4 heroes down. Are they going to be able to get the kill onto the Wraith King? Well, he has the Aegis. His reincarnation's already been dropped. And he is in a lot of trouble. Look how quickly he just gets eaten through by this Lifestealer. And that's 4 heroes down in exchange for nothing. And that's exactly what I, just mentioned. As soon as the Black Hole is there, don't engage. Try and maybe bait it out, lose 1 hero, but get that Black Hole used. Get that Black Hole baited out. Otherwise, you're going to die 4v1. Once again, it started off with, this time they went on the Clockwork. They tried to go in, good cog, splitting them up. And the Infest Bomb there from the Storm Spirit, as well as the Blinking forward with the Enigma catching in onto 3 heroes. This might just be game coming in from Hellraisers. 22 net worth. There's the first buyback onto the Wraith King. Wraith King, I mean, he can't really do much by himself. Batrider will be back up in 8 seconds. The Spirit Breaker is back as well. Ancient Apparition ultimate is going to be flying through onto the mid lane. There's a zip in forward straight, as well as the Infest Bomb. They try to go in onto the Ancient Apparition. However, they turn around. They manage to get the quick kill onto the Spirit Breaker. The Ancient Apparition ultimate flies through, hits onto 3 heroes right now. Patos might be in a bit of trouble himself, just trying to burn up as much as possible. Exotic Deer, he does not have reincarnation, and that's the Chain Frost flying through as well. Batrider dropping finally, and this is going to be GG, maybe? Hasn't been called. No, it hasn't been called yet. Kinguin, they want to fight this. And it seems like I've just started getting my stride up right now in regards with casting. So it's going to be good for game number 2 and then hopefully game number 3 as well. I'm awake. I'm ready. Let's get this on. There's another zip in forward. They want to go in and get a kill here onto the Venomonster. Venomonster this time does have his BKB. He did manage to actually drop his ultimate, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to be good enough. Let's see if Veno, can they counter, can they try and do anything right now? It's currently, I mean, they did manage to get the kill on the Enigma, so they can try and push this forward. And Kinguin, they're not giving up. They're staying in right now. They do have the BKB. That was the first usage of the Veno BKB.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
And Kinguin, they want to fight. 26k net worth up for the side of Hellraisers. Look at that big jump over the past 2 minutes. Experience though was a little bit in favor of Kinguin for a minute there, but well, second there in 2 cases. But once again, going all the way back up in HL's favor, nearly 30,000 experience, 27,000 gold, sorry, up in favor of Hellraisers. And hey, guess what? Enigma's Black Hole is back on cooldown. The way that they've been setting this up, baiting the side of Kinguin to either jump on the Clockwork or jump on the Enigma. If they jump on the Clockwork, Enigma backs the Clockwork up. If they jump on the Enigma, Clockwork backs the Enigma up. So it's very difficult for them to actually try and do anything, considering that whoever backs up who, after that you're going to have Kaiser coming in right now with the Lifestealer as well, and just that Infest Bomb coming through, and then the Lich Chain Frost just doing so much damage because everyone's either trapped up in the cogs, trapped up in the Black Hole. Once again, we spoke about it during the early stages of the game. There's multiple different engagement potentials coming in from HR. Let's zoom out right now. Where's the Infest going to be? There's the Infest up. And the hook shot coming through right now. It does actually jump in. They do manage to go in onto the Wraith King, but it's not. There's no follow-up just yet. But there you go. There's the big Black Hole onto 4 heroes right now. And it's going to be the Lifestealer bomb. That is just everyone blowing up right now. Kaiser, well, that's actually a refresher. GG, well played. That Black Hole coming in. I mean, yeah, no comments on that. I can't even hype that up more than that was, because that was a 4-man Black Hole, as well as a 4-man Lifestealer bomb, as well as congratulations to Hellraisers. Well played. Sure, it took 42 minutes, but that was sort of a dominating victory or a dominating performance coming up from Hellraisers. As you could see with the net worth graph, it just went one way. And sure, it was around, I think, maybe the 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark, where it was still a little bit in favor of Kinguin. They were actually doing well. But then that 10-minute mark hit, and it just started going in Hellraiser's favor. The experience dropped a little bit, but the net worth just constantly went up to around 30k towards the end of the game.